kids and families. Oh, I am looking at an old photo album, and it's so much fun to see how I look like my dad, and it reminds me that I act like my mom when she talks. She uses her hands, and so do I. And I've heard people say that when I smile, I look like my grandmother. You know what? I wonder what you think about that. I wonder how you act like your mom and dad, or you have the same brown eyes like your dad, or you have curly hair like your mom. Maybe it's something you can do this week is grab a photo album, or maybe on your phone browse through some pictures with your parents and notice how you resemble one another. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Jesus. And Jesus said that he looked like his Father. God, he acted like his Father. So Jesus was always accepting and forgiving people. And he said in chapter 10 in John, the last part of the chapter, verses 22 on, he talks about how he does what he hears his Father telling him to do. Isn't that so cool? So we can know what God's like through Jesus. Wow, I love that. So maybe this week, talk about that with your family. How are you like your grandparents? And then maybe ask yourself, oh, we are God's children. We are God's image bearers. So how am I acting or loving or forgiving others like God forgives? Wow. And then another question would be, how do we see God in others? Maybe it's through a smile or someone sharing with us. We get to share God's love and forgiveness with others too. I love that. Isn't that so great? So this coming Sunday, we're going to be reading Psalm 100. And remember, we've been traveling, looking at different Psalms for the whole summer. And it's a wonderful way to find words to pray. Sometimes I have a hard time finding the right words. And so that helps me to pray using the Psalms. So maybe it's something you want to try. This week specifically, we're going to be looking at Psalm 100. And when we recognize that God is so good and kind, and he shares and is generous and is so, so loving, no matter what, that fills me with praise, that I want to tell God how much I love him and appreciate God and what he's done in my life and how I can share that love with others. So take a look at that too, Psalm 100 as a family. One last thing I want to share with you this week is a gift. So look for it in the mail. I have a bunch of pencils here and cards that I'm going to be sending out. Yes, it's the blessing of the books. We had that this past Sunday, and I know some of us are in person and some of us are joining online. And so I wanted to encourage you all as you begin your school year that we love you and that we're praying for you and that we are all students, right? And so everything, all knowledge is God's knowledge. And so we want to bless you in your learning. So take a look in your mailbox. You should be getting these this week or early next week. All right, GC Kids and families, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to being with you Sunday in person or online. Take care.